Well, hello class. What we're talking about in this video is our midterm project, the Roaring 20s, but this is the video for the website, not for the magazine project. So if you've chosen to work on the magazine project in class, you can disregard this video. This video is strictly for the students who are choosing to do the website for their midterm project. You've each been sent on your Google Classrooms a set of instructions and the rubric that we'll be using for grading, shown here. The main goal of this video is to show you very simply how to create your website so that it's fully functioning, contains a home page. As you see here, I've chosen to do mine on Cinema. And it has all the individual components you need: a political page, a social page, an economic page, an interview with someone famous from the era, and an obituary page or in memoriam. We're going to start with how do you access Google Sites. From your Drive, from your Google platform, you'll click on the Apps button in the upper right corner, and you're looking for Sites. When you get here, it's going to ask you to create a new site. You want to start with the student portfolio. Okay, so we can click on Student Portfolio, and it brings us here. Our first step, when we have our student portfolio open, is to name the website. So this is where you'll just simply click up here where it says your name and change it to your name. You want to go ahead and adjust the name of your magazine, the name of your website. I called mine Cinema Now, I think, yeah. A year in review. And my year that I assigned myself was 1929. You can always go back and edit the fonts, the styling, whatever you think would look good. That's just totally up to you. It's a personal choice in how you want your website to look. So I won't spend too much time now showing you how to do that besides the easy tools that are available. The next step we want to do, we have it named, Mr. Toth website project. We have a name of our publication, the name of our website, our year assigned. We want to go first and delete everything on our homepage. I'm going to show you how to back build it with content and information and pictures, but we want to go through and delete everything. So as we're scrolling down, the first part, something that says about me, you simply click on it and hit the trash can button. And we do that for every other section on the website. We want to delete everything. You just keep clicking and keep deleting until you're left with a basic site that has virtually nothing on it. Now, you are going to need to add your contact info as you are the editor. So we can go ahead and take care of that now. We can add your student email address. Me, I'll add my teacher's email address. And I can add that I am the editor. Editor-in-chief is a term. You could also put like web designer, which for this project, that's what you are. And we double click out of there and we are good. Our second step is we want to go ahead and select pages from the menu here on the right. We select the pages tab and it's going to show us our home page that we're on and two other pages that it's created for us. So we want to go ahead and select the three dots next to classes and we want to delete that page. We're going to select yes to delete the nested pages underneath it. We want to locate the activities page, and we want to rename that politics. So again, we select the three dots, which is like a menu, and we go to properties. This will allow us to name it politics. And done. Now that we're on this politics page, we'll go ahead and rename it. This is a placeholder name. We can change a specific name later. And like we did on the home page where we deleted everything, we're going to delete everything from our political page. So we're going to click on the item and click on the trash can immediately. We want blank pages, and notice it keeps our web designer and how to get in touch with us on every page. That's going to be our footer. So now we have a blank page, and we have a blank home page. Now we know from looking at the rubric, we have to have individual article topics of politics, social life, the economy or economic issues, and an interview. We also need an obituary page. So how we created the political page, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click the three dots, the menu on the right. We're going to duplicate page. And now instead of it saying copy of politics, we're going to have it say social life. Or just title it social for now. And we can change the name on that page to social. Again, it's a placeholder name. You can always go back and change the name. We're going to duplicate it again. And now we're going to name it economy. And we'll change the name on the page itself to reflect economy. And we need one titled obituaries. We duplicate the page. I think we need interviews first. And our last page that we're going to be making by this duplicate feature is obituaries. And again, we'll change the name to obituaries. And so now we have all of the base pages that we need. We have our home page, our landing page. This is where we get to go to first when we start looking at our website. We have our political page, our social page, each of these for articles with images, our economic page, and our interview page. And lastly, we have our obituaries page. Now, as we want to start building, we have the base foundation for our website. Now we want to start building, so we have a way to do that. Up here on the menu where we selected pages, there's also themes, how we want it to look, sort of like what you see on your Google slide decks. We go back to insert, and this allows us to change the format with these content blocks you see here. We can change the format of how something looks. So if we were to click on the page and we want to go with a main picture and article, we can do that. We can undo. And if we say we wanted to have two pictures and articles beneath it, we can click on this one. And it'll allow us to add two photos and edit the text with captions or just titles of the information that we see in the image, labeling the image if it's a person, place, or thing, and adding some corresponding detail. We can also add a block of 3 images. But by deleting everything and starting with a blank page, you can format the page however you like. You can make it image heavy with one main image and smaller supporting images. And then you can add your content above or below. To do that, if you did something with main imagery and you wanted to add text either above or below, you simply click text box and it'll open up an option where you can type any message. You can change the font. You can change the overall appearance. You can change how it's justified. You can change the text color. You can, of course, change the size. You see where we're getting at. Okay. So we're back to our blank page. One of the first things you're going to do is you're going to want to change the images, because this image of this young girl working on trigonometry here does not correspond to Cinema Now. So how do we change images? On your banner headline here, your header, you do that by clicking Change Image. We want to upload. Now, ideally, you've done some research and gone through and selected images, so you can easily populate your website with relevant imagery. Now, if we need, this is a landing page, and my website is about Cinema Now, a year in review for 1929. So I'm probably going to want to populate this with a lot of images. So I can delete the text boxes that I have open. And I'm going to come down here and I want to add an image that isn't in our header. So the same way we added a text box with the tools on the right, we can also add images. So if we select images and upload, it allows us to go back and it puts images in a nice, clean format. Let's see if we can add a bunch of images and make sort of like a collage. Now, you can simply drag the images around if you want them to be side by side. If you have a particular format you're looking at, it will automatically size the images to make them fit a little more cleanly. You can adjust them with a simple click and a drag. You can make it smaller. You can make it bigger. You can make it skinnier. You can make it wider. There's virtually no end in the appearance of the images. It just depends on how creative you want to be. So we can keep adding images. I have a number of images set up and ready for this demonstration. So I'm going to add them all and show you what it looks like. And we just drop and drag those images. And you see, just with a couple of clicks, which is a lot easier than drawing all of this, I guarantee you, you can very easily populate your website with relevant imagery. And so now if we were to look back, our home page has our name, Mr. Toth, website project, the title of my publication, my assigned year, has some relevant graphics. These are all movies that came out in 1929. And it has my contact info. So I'm feeling pretty good about the home page. Now, how I set up, again, going back over on the right, this is how you navigate from your main page to any of the additional pages you have. So if I were to set up my political page, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start by changing my image. Well, this is a page of the Motion Picture Association. Again, I've pre-selected all the images that I'm going to add, but this is a relevant page because they talked about what they were going to do with some of the political changes that were happening in 1929, having to deal with the Great Depression. So this is the page that I've already built out on the sample website. You can see my homepage and the images. And so I titled this one, I went back and changed it to Politics of the Entertainment Industry, adding a couple of images, adding an article about politics in 1929 and how it affected the Motion Picture Association. And one of the things we also have to do is advertisements relative to the era. So this is an advertisement for the reopening of the 19th Street Theater. Children 15 cents per admission, adults 30 cents. Saturday matinees of 10 cents and 25 cents. What a deal. This is the MLA formatting. This is my footnote, my citation of where I got this information from for the article. And one of the last things I want to show you is showing you how to build out your homepage, how to add photos, is I want to show you what these are. These are called buttons or hyperlinks. Now, this is your table of contents. This is the last thing that you build out after you've completed all of your individual pages. And you notice that on our home page, in the table of contents, we have a politics page, one of our requirements, a social life page, one of our requirements, the economy page, one of our requirements. We have an interview, and lastly, the obituaries. All of our individual pages that we created over here on the right correspond to the table of contents. So if I were to look at the politics page, the button there takes us back to the home page. So how we add buttons is very easy. So we're back on the sample home page that we're building right now. We want to go up to the little menu, the upper right-hand corner where it says Insert Pages and Themes. We want to go back to Insert. And we're going to scroll down until we see the word button. Okay. We can add a divider, which simply puts a line on your website anywhere you want it. Okay, so notice there's no line dividing anything here. We can add a divider, and above it, here, we want to create a button. So what we do is we select this button, called button, and we start with a name. We want to name it politics. The first page or the first article on our website, the first content page. And now we need to find where to link it. So we've named it. Now we find where to link it. So we click the tab here and it opens up with all of our other pages. So we just select politics and hit insert. And now it's created a tiny little button. Okay. You can leave it small. You can stretch it out. You can kind of make it halfway. Again, you can mess with the size however you want to put it. We can put it up here and fully stretch it out. Now, what these buttons do is they act like hyperlinks. So if we publish our site, I'm going to go to the site that I already have published. So this is what your website looks like when it's published. Okay. We have my contact info at the bottom. We have all of these supporting pages. Now, if I click the politics button, it takes me right to my political page. It's a hyperlink. It links your click, and you can tell by when we hover our mouse over it how it turns into a hand. This one on the politics page takes us back to our home page. So each of these tabs here in the table of contents act as a hyperlink, taking you directly to the page you want to be at. This one takes us to obituaries. On the obituary page, you see some advertisements. You see the MLA formatted footnotes. Again, you see a button or hyperlink back to the home page. This allows you to navigate throughout the entirety of your site by these teeny tiny little buttons. This is our interview page for Charlie Chaplin. Takes us back to the home page. So if we're going back to how we're building it, when we publish this site, if we were to click on politics, it would take us to our political page. Other things you can insert that you'll need if you wanted to insert a text box here and have it say table of contents. If I could spell it correctly. Again, we can change it. We can adjust it to any way we want. We can make it a little bigger so it's dramatic and stands out. We would probably want to put it above our actual tabs, our little buttons. And I don't know if you noticed that there's also a date that we're publishing this. Now, as I wrote, I'm doing a Cinema Now, a year in review, 1929. So this likely would have been published around the end of December in 1929. So I chose the date December 31st, 1929. You would do the same. Whatever the date might be. But you don't have to put it up on top like I did. I just did that because it was easy when I was creating the site. You can have it all the way at the bottom. You can minimize it and make it super duper small. And that's it. You are pretty good. This would take care of most of your requirements. Building the pages, building your table of contents as buttons and hyperlinks. You can add docs, like if you type out your interviews or any of your article requests, requirements, you can add Google Slides, you can add Google Sheets, forms, charts. You can add maps. So like if we go back to our political page and we say we want to add a map, we can do that right through Google. So say we're talking about the Chinese theater in Los Angeles. You can search up and pull up the map and select it. And it puts a working, functioning map right there on our page. We're not going to add social links because we're not linking to anybody's social media. We can add YouTube videos if they're relevant. If you have a transcript of an interview, like on our sample website, we have an interview with Charlie Chaplin. So if there's a YouTube video of your interview, you can actually add that as well. Let's see if we can add. So these are interviews from when Charlie Chaplin was a little older. There aren't any that exist from 1929. Let's say we put this in, it's 2 minutes. We could actually embed the link directly on our website and it'll play later. So these are all super cool and it's really easy. There's no need to add a calendar or placeholders, but you're gonna want to talk about adding a table of contents. You could do it as a button, or you can do it straight as a table of contents where you add the headings that they'll appear here. The buttons are just as easy. And since they actually function like hyperlinks, they serve a dual purpose. That's our video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it beneficial. And if you have any questions, you can watch the recording again, pause and play, or see me in class. Thanks.